Hey everyone, it's Mark David Heitzer from Day Did You Win? And probably about 2 weeks ago, I put out on Instagram especially that I'm looking for questions. Ask me anything about running. I got quite a few questions. I'm going to answer most of them here today. So let's go ahead and get started. Asking for questions, I said I wanted to be specifically about running. Other than that, it could be about anything, whether it's my training, my favorite races, anything. So here we go. We're going to start with the top here, and we're going to start with Run Scott Run asked if you had to choose one, faster or farther. So back probably about a year or so ago, I would have easily said faster. I want faster, faster, faster. Actually, I said a year ago, probably more like 2 or 3 years ago. Faster was better for me. That's what I wanted. Now it's a toss-up, really. I don't have the speed anymore. I've reached my goals. I reached the Boston Marathon, got into that, ran that, and now I don't really have a pace goal anymore as far as where I want to be. So I'm enjoying the longer runs now. I enjoy the longer races. Give me a long race over a short race any day. So right now, I think I gotta go further. But right now, I still have no desire to run further than a marathon. But between faster and further, I'm gonna go with further. Next question comes from Ryan at I Run on Beer, and the question is, what's your most memorable race moment? And for this, I have to go back, I think, to the 2014 Carmel Marathon. This was my first ever Boston qualifying run. It was one of those, didn't know if I was going to get it or not. At that time, the qualifying time was a 3:05. And I ran somewhere around, I believe, a 3:02, 3:03. So obviously I didn't know if I was safe or not getting into Boston, but the fact that I had finally reached that time goal and just was able to finally reach what I've been working so hard for over the past year and a half or so, just a huge sense of relief. And then actually another month and a half later, I improved that time and got down to almost 3 hours flat. So to break get my Boston qualifying time twice in really a matter of about 2 months or so was really exciting for me. But I got to go back to that first time, the Carmel Marathon 2014. Ken from Ken Stands on Things asked, what is something you learned now that you wish you knew when you had started? That's a tough question for me because I started running all the way back in late elementary school. My first time ever running long distance was a 4-mile race. Would not recommend that to anybody. But as far as what I've learned, especially let's mainly say about marathons, is there are good days and there are bad days. You're not always going to have a good race, and you're not always going to have bad races. As much training as we put into marathons and such, the frustration is it doesn't always work out the way we want on race day. And I think that's more so a fact for marathons, or the further you run, than it is for the 5K and stuff like that. A lot can go wrong on race day, and you can't always plan for everything. But, you just got to stay positive and keep with it. If it doesn't work once, don't give up on it. Get ready to do it again. My first marathon was actually in a college track meet. Is our college national championships for NAI. They have a marathon involved with that. And so I ran that race, and honestly, I came in, I think, second to last or something like that. But I finished. There were several others who did not finish. I'm saying I'm second to last from all the male finishers. And it was a struggle at the end. But you know what? I came back the next year and I did it again. So I came back and did it my junior year. And I improved my time by over 10 minutes in the marathon. And so just because it don't work out one day doesn't mean it's not going to the next day. And just because it worked out one day does not mean it's going to the next day. Marathon is a very tricky thing. And that goes for all running as well. Some days we feel good, some days we don't. It's just pushing through the days that we don't feel good. And then we get to the days where we do feel really good. Seventh Trail Sister asks, what is your can't live without running gear? Shoes not included. There are a couple things. Number one has to be my Garmin watch. I run with the Forerunner 935 Garmin watch. This is my must-have. I have had this watch now for maybe 3 years. I don't remember exactly when I got it, but I've had this watch for quite a while. It is dependable. It is reliable. It has a battery life of almost a week. Typically right before I do my long runs, I will charge it up. But that is the one thing I can't run without. I can't even walk day to day around the house without it. My wrist feels naked without it. So that has to be number one. Number two, probably my Aftershokz Aeropex headphones. They're light. They're not. You don't really notice them when you're running, other than you can actually hear your music and your podcasts or whatever. But also at the same time, you can still hear what's going on around you. So, and also I would throw in number three, compression shorts. I do not like regular shorts, too much chafing with those and such. And so I like compression shorts. I know you asked for my top item. Watch has to be number one, my Garmin 935. Number two, Aeropex Aftershokz headphones. And number three, compression shorts. Those are my must-haves for running. Next, Riley from RM Fickfack asks, if you could build your dream race experience, what would it be? This one is tough for me. One, a marathon. All right, that's usually where I any kind of dream race that I have usually is based around a marathon. Two, flat course. Maybe a little bit of a downhill, but at the same time, rolling hills are good in marathons because it does keep your legs awake, and it does make them a little bit more responsive for the flat sections and for the downhills as well. So maybe not flat as a pancake, but, generally a flat course. Three, I like to have races where the hotels and everything are right by the start-finish line. Make it easy for me to get to the starting line. Don't make me drive in the morning. I can just walk out the hotel and get to the starting line. Four, I would say some nice scenery. I'm not much of a beach person, so I don't need the ocean or anything like that. I like mountains, although that kind of would take away from the flat course probably. But just some nice scenery and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. I guess other experience would be having good pacers out there as well. That's always very helpful as well. That would probably be about it. The extra swag is nice too, but I'm not a Run Disney fan or anything like that. I don't need the characters. I don't need, the special locations of running through Disney or anything like that. I just really appreciate a well-run, well-managed race. And that's all I really need for myself. But like I said, having I'm more of a convenience person than the frills of it all. So give me the hotel right next to the starting line. Give me, the close location to the expo and stuff like that. That is what I would consider my dream race. I hope, Riley, that answered your question. Next up, Handsome Loser 41 asks, I don't even know why I'm even answering this. How's your training for the Boston Virtual Marathon going? Do I even have to say this? If you haven't seen my video on my opinions on the Boston Virtual Marathon, check it out. I'm going to put the tab up here. I'm not even answering this. Katie Graceface asks, what's your favorite race distance? I think I've said this already a few times on this video, but I'm going to say it again. It's the marathon. I don't mind. I'm getting more and more comfortable running 5Ks again, but I don't really like it all that much. I would much rather work on the long distances than to have the short, fast races. So the marathon is far and away my favorite race distance. Alistair Vance asks, which has been your favorite training plan that you have followed? Okay, so first of all, I will say this. If you can get a personal coach, that's the best thing. I had a coach for a few years named Jake Gillette. He's still a good friend of mine. That was probably the best I have ever best training I have ever received as far as coaching and stuff like that. However, I know that's not in the budget for everybody. Everybody doesn't know somebody that can coach them, and sometimes going to coaches online, people you don't know, it's not as easy to take coaching that way, or maybe there's some other issues that you may face that you don't want to do that. So what I have come to now, I've done a few other training plans that I found online in the past and stuff. But right now I am using Hal Higdon's training app right now. And I think I paid $24 for the year. I think typically though, it's like 60 some dollars for the year, which is cheaper than your personal coaches. Obviously, you don't get the open communication with your coach this way, and so you do lose quite a bit by doing this. But what I like about this training plan is that you can go to the app, you see what your workout is, and then you put, after you finish your workout, it syncs with your Garmin or whatever kind of watch you have, and you go in, you claim that run for the day. And then you put down how hard that run was for you. Obviously, an easy run should be easy. A more difficult run should be harder. But you put in how hard you worked on that workout. And then you also say how you felt. How fatigued did you feel? And based off of all that, takes how you ran your workout, how hard you worked, and the fatigue you had. It takes that and it adjusts your workouts in the coming days. So if you had a few workouts where you felt tired or fatigued, it will adjust. It will give you a rest day. It will give you an easy run, stuff like that. And so that's what I've really enjoyed about the Hal Higdon training plan that I've been following this cycle, is that the training plan does adjust based on how you feel. And it reads when you need more of a rest, or when you need to, maybe knock down the mileage a little bit. And so for that reason, I have really liked the Hal Higdon program, and I would do it again. Last question comes from Stephanie. If anyone wanted to start running but didn't know where to begin, what advice would you give them? All right, great question. Obviously, as runners, we should always be encouraging other people to join us, to get involved with running. It's one of those sports anybody can do. It does not matter what your background is. It does not matter, you just what your sizes or anything like that. Anybody can out do it, and it's a healthy way to start running. Obviously, if you do have health conditions such as heart issues and stuff like that, first of all, go to your doctor. Don't just start running, but go see a doctor. Make sure that they recommend it for you. If they don't, maybe they're going to recommend you just start off with walking, just to kind of get started and that sort of thing. But if you are healthy and you're able to start, for one, I would just say start off easy. Even if it's a matter of going out for 10 minutes, doing run to the next electrical pole, walk to the following. It's intervals that I used to do in the country as well when I lived out there, and just kind of build up. Eventually, you'll get to being able to run a mile at a time. Maybe then after a little while, you're up to 2 miles. But even just starting off with that run walk, I think is important. You're getting used to running if it's something that you're not really sure about. And also, it's probably a great way of also avoiding injuries. You're not putting too much stress on your body that your body's not used to. But also, with all that said, the best thing you could do for yourself when you start running, get to a specialty running store, get fitted for the proper shoes. Make sure it's something that works for you. Don't just go to your Dick's Sporting Goods or your Kohl's or something like that and just buy a pair of shoes that look good. Go to a specialty running store. You'll probably pay a little bit more, but they will help you find the shoe that's going to be best for you. And that might be more important than how you actually start running. And because if you buy a crappy pair of shoes, it could lead to injuries, which is going to even stop you even further from running. So proper shoes are probably my number one, followed by start off easy. Don't push yourself too much. Just get used to running. All right. That's the questions I have to answer for today. I will probably do another one of these in the future. That was pretty fun for me. If you have any other questions that you think that I should answer in my next video, please leave them in the comment section below. I would appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my next video. And if you liked the video, please feel free to like it as well. I would greatly appreciate it. Until next time, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for the questions. Have a great day and enjoy your run.